You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. We got Ben with us today. He'll be here in a minute. We're just waiting for some people to gather. We put a video out on the Patriot Hour. Again, we are, it looks like we have live capability back, but boy, oh boy, are they not letting it come through. They're talking about encoders, and everything I've ever done to get a Patriot Hour live feed up is no different than what we're doing right now to get this one up. So it looks like they unlocked our live. It might be back up in a day or two, but there's something on their end that's not correct. So how's everybody's Thanksgiving? Looking here at some of the comments as we wait for Ben to join us, and we're going to wait for some people. Turkey hangovers are good. Christopher Olson, I hear you there. Danielle Yelly wanted to stay sleeping. Amy, more like pumpkin pie hangover. Nice. Mine was good, yes. Tons of food. Tons of food. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. Minute here. All right. We got Ben here. All right.
Back in it to win it. Yes.
All right, give me a second here. I'm looking for image. Downloads. Pictures.
Figured to get back on it, and Mike was talking about a little bit of food hangover, a little bit of coma toast. getting up. Hopefully it's get a little something done. Most of y'all have today off. We were just talking about that. You know, it was a federal holiday, so most likely the old government probably won't be firing back up until what? Probably Monday, first business day of next week, we're thinking.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We're still just kind of waiting here for a minute, but yeah, we'll get in. We got tons to talk about here for a little bit. Here is a picture at about, I don't know, 9:30 last night of some eatings I was having, round 3. Now, I didn't eat all of it. I warmed it all up. I had a sliver of the pie,
Nice.
green bean casserole there, just all kinds of different stuff. That's actually ribs from the day before. So, yes. I still got like turkey and stuff in the fridge as well for later. All right, so how many we got?
At 21, we got Honor
19 are in the
Swartz.
room.
We got Christopher Olson, Amy. What up, Scott Bolin? Yeah, no.
Florida's in the
Watched
house.
POTUS instead of the Macy Day Parade. It was great. Moscovial, 41. I mean,
Just so you guys know, we do pay attention and we're humans. Like Chris, I think Christopher Olson had said a while ago, I caught a comment. He had missed a few shows. He was moving. Was that right? You were moving or something, Chris? Got caught up in the middle of a move. Missed
Life
out
can
on some
get you, man.
shows. Amy, piece of junk. What are you talking about?
Lisa Miller.
My phone is a piece
Virginia's
of
in
junk.
the
I've had it for a
house.
year. Amy's got the iPhone 6, if I remember. I'll tell you
Hey.
some stuff about you folks if you want to do it. Yeah, see, Chris? Yep. Amy's rocking that iPhone 6.
It gets the job done. Yeah.
See, we're not so out of touch that we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's why we enjoy these this live action. I feel like that turtle guy. What was that guy who used to catch those snapping turtles, and he'd be like the live action. That's how I feel when we do these live action stuff. Get to know you guys a little more and to chit chat. Marty Jackson, hi y'all. Don't touch. Morning. I like that. Mishkoval 41. Be thankful to the Lord in all that you do. Amen to that. I agree with that full one. Amy.
Oh, yeah.
Food porn.
Food porno.
Love me some Turtle Man. Yeah, that guy was hilarious. I like that. I had to trap my snappers in a net. I could never do that live action. Those snapping
Live
turtles were
action.
pretty crazy.
So what about, what do you guys think of December 5th, Hoover? So we're looking into it a little more. We got videos from months ago talking about, I've had one named Hoover, a name to remember.
Yeah,
Hoover,
It was a while ago too.
shadow, working in the shadows. And it wasn't in secret. It was all done in the forefront. Sessions recused himself, appointed Hoover out of Utah to investigate several concerns of what they call the GOP. Now he's coming on December 5th, visiting town in D.C., and they're wanting to get his testimony out of him before the Democrats take back over the House in January when they get sworn in from all this voting we just did, all right? So just like when the president wins in November of the off years every 4th, they don't take, the seat until January 20th, which is called
Yeah, the
Inauguration
swear-in
Day.
isn't- yeah,
Inauguration.
Exactly.
So we know that he's been investigating concerns. Those concerns were, we went over them. What are they? Email server, right? The server in the basement, her handling of emailed, classified emails. 2, uranium-1. It's huge.
It's a big one. Yes.
So then we know that there was like I think they're investigating things around that. So you got like the Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton,
all the
tarmac
players
meeting.
involved.
Yes. So now he's set just to come and testify, I believe, on the email stuff. So, and now they're also pushing Hillary, and they're wanting stuff put on paper, and then for her to come in and testify or whatever and answer more questions. And it looks like they're trying to get all this done before January, this certain date.
Well, I mean, you figure it's like any other, when you have a new administration, you have a new, I don't want to call it a regime change, but a new change of what it is. You still have old policies and old things, or old cases, things that are still riding over that you're still having to deal with. We've heard many politicians say, I'm still trying to clean up what the last administration said or did or whatnot. So getting these questions, first of all, on paper, we know nothing really happens unless it's on paper type thing. And so getting that actually recorded and getting those, I guess it'd be like depositions, hearings, I guess what they be called, because they're, subpoenaed to talk. So if he goes out there and he gives his report, if you will, or answers their questions in regarding to the emails, the uranium one, and if that's on paper, then when this new turnover and everybody swears in, now we're rocking with the Senate and the House being what it is. These are the issues that they can't, I'm assuming, not push away so quickly because they're on record. I think that's probably the main thing, is to get them on record.
Yeah, no, exactly. Get their testimony, their sworn statements on, recorded in, congressional type setting, and then, going to get stuff on paper. And then
because if they go again to say anything,
well, and you would think at this point they
perjury.
know something. So that's typically how, it's like when we all know, law enforcement, FBI, something come to your door and they're asking you about where you were last Tuesday, that most likely they already know where you were at last Tuesday. They're just going to try to hem you up in the lie. So in this day and age, where were you last Tuesday? And then they got a pencil and paper out. Like, that's all illusion. I mean, it makes you think like, oh, they're going to write it down, whatever I say. So most likely they already know.
Yeah, they're just seeing if you're going to lie to them or what type of fabrication you're going to try to pull. So, no, I agree. It's interesting. Something, there's many days we've been kind of, we're looking forward to, and they've come, and, things have happened, and now we're kind of going over to the next ridge, if you will. And so, this is going to be interesting to come out, something to follow. I don't think this is going to be, government stopping, earth shattering. I think we've talked about this little by little, getting this stuff on record. We know the first IG report only had a couple of lines that said crimes against children to the, Clinton Foundation, and tying them with that aspect. And so,
in the
emails
mainstream,
and uranium ones.
And they've touched on all this. Like every time it maybe got a little bit loud to start pointing arrows and neon signs that there's a guy named Huber doing all this, it was like Sessions would come back up or Trump would tweet something. There was always something in the news to circulate and have the ball bouncing around. And once in a while you started hearing even congressmen like, Sessions isn't doing his job and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, don't you know there's a guy Huber doing everything that maybe Sessions should have been doing? And it just seems like either they were part of it. There was this huge group of people that purposely wouldn't say Hoover out loud, but yet every mainstream media, CNN, all of them have articles over the last several months, even way back in like November, December of last year, talking about this Hooper guy. And these are stories buried, and maybe one guy at a CNN did it and half of CNN didn't really know, or if they just ignore their own research. I don't know. But it's out there.
This possibly could be. Yeah, it's out there. And this could possibly be, well, we talked about, well, why is disinformation necessary? Well, this could be a possible scenario of getting the mainstream media whipped up over this particular issue, like you were saying, to take the focus off of Huber and his 470 plus investigators. And they didn't make any loud noises while they were doing their investigation, and everybody was kind of eyes off them and all getting
That's
upset at Sessions.
exactly what
and
you want.
Trump and Sessions were doing we don't really like each other, but they've known each other for how many years, and they're great friends and barbecues. But right now,
Well,
they
some
don't
of these
like
other
one another.
ones, like Mueller, he's doing an investigation. Is his very much behind the scenes? It's like daily talking points in the paper about. So it's like his wasn't really under the radar, is what we're. So you have one investigation. It's very much public limelight. CNN talks about it. Well, we just need to let Mueller do his investigation. Oh, they're trying to, get rid of these people for Mueller's investigation. So everyone's known about this Russia Mueller probe.
They're
Now,
all
the media
chomping
might
on
have it
eating
misconstrued that it's going after, the whole time they've thought it's been after Trump, but it might come out to be like, well, we did find Russia collusion, and that's with Hillary, by the way. And people would be blown away like, oh, that's not the outcome we were thinking you were doing for 2 years.
I
And
didn't
that could
want
be the
that
big
outcome.
clutch play. We don't know. But investigations are supposed to remain, just out of the limelight. That's the whole point. You shouldn't be going on talk shows weekly, giving briefings to all the news about where it's at. And it's an investigation. So this administration, I think, doesn't talk about ongoing investigations. They've made it a point
thank
not to
God.
talk about ongoing investigations. The media in the past administrations have been used to getting leaks, controlled leaks. They were used to guide the narrative. And that's just not the case with this administration.
Yeah, I agree, and it's very apparent because we can see how this administration can throw something out to the mainstream media, and they'll, like a pack of ravaged animals, go tear up this something over here when this has happened. When these other situations are happening behind the scenes, and so it's interesting. Again, this is speculation based on what evidence we do have, the dates, who's going where. We do know December 5th he's coming down. He's going to be giving his deposition, his statement, his sworn statement's going to be on paper. They're going to have it on record. And when this stuff comes out, I think, again, this is going to show some huge stuff. Uranium One email, Mike and we've been yelling loud and proud from day one as IT security individuals. Just the mere fact that she had the server in her house was just, no go. That's a no go right there. But again, perception is reality. So that we didn't get hemmed up, and maybe it will be coming out that that's the case. And so the Uranium One, huge. That's huge. That's definitely national security stuff. So I think this is where a lot of her treasonous acts are going to be coming out in the Clinton Foundation. It's like there's so many of them, which they're so. How do you list them in orders of priority? Nuclear stuff, child trafficking, nuclear. I mean, at what point in time do you, so.
So let me see here.
And we can see that, this election was really a positioning, this midterm was a positioning point for our country, really. On one of the Q drops, they were saying that this election, they're still fighting for the human trafficking, for the justice, secure the, the Senate to make, almost lifelong changes in how things will be operating and give the power back to the people.
Yeah. Here's a Hillary Clinton, Europe must curb immigration. So Hillary Clinton to Europe. Europe must curb immigration to stop right-wing populists. So she's saying curb. What does she mean curb? Like stop it, or curb it to
Like
be
curb
more
your
leftist?
enthusiasm, kind of like, Europe must get a handle on the immigration to combat the growing threat from right-wing populists. Hillary Clinton has said, calling the the continent's leaders to send out a stronger signal.
Wow.
So it's okay for her to be yelling at other people to have tight borders and better immigration policies, but us, well, fling them wide open. Come one, come all.
What's Pelosi saying here? Impeach the president, ? House Democrats saying not so fast.
Whoa.
Whatever happened to trying to impeach President Donald Trump? As House Democrats begin laying out the vision for their new majority, that item is noticeably missing from the to-do list and firmly on the margins.
Whoa.
The agenda for the now includes spending on public works projects, lowering health care costs, and increasing oversight of the administration. It's a balance of the Democrat leader, Nancy Pelosi, is trying to strike a new Congress between those on her party's left flank who are eager to confront the president, and her instinct to prioritize the kitchen table promises that the Democrats made voters who elected them into office. We shouldn't impeach the president for political reasons, and we should not impeach the president for political reasons. What? We shouldn't impeach the president for political reasons, and we shouldn't. She said it twice, or what?
She's getting up there in age a little bit.
I forgot what she just said 1 second before.
She's really trying to push it on home,
It's common trickery, folks. Common trickery. So we got man accused of brandishing gun at teens is arrested. What's going on here?
Yeah, you can't brandish your firearm there, Bubbas. That's no good. That's no good. That man doesn't know the law.
Go ahead and read this one here.
A man displayed a gun during an argument with a group of mostly Somali American teenagers at the McDonald's in Minnesota after he wrongly suggested they were using welfare assistance to pay for their food. Members of the group said the confrontation with the man, which in partly captured in video, has been widely circulated on Twitter, according to Monday McDonald's restaurant in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Here. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. What is this guy? This guy, whoa. Yeah. If somebody who really was carrying a gun and knew how to use it, that man he'd be dead right now, I would say right now. Oh, Lloyd Johnson.
Lloyd the Floyd.
Lloyd, you are a wrong man to do that.
You're a wrong man. I mean,
this guy.
That dude, he went, woohoo.
This guy is an idiot.
I mean, I guess it looked like a bunch of kids, but there was like 30, and they were all, if in this video, I know you guys can't hear it, they were all saying, what's up, and you see him kind of going towards them. I'm sure, I don't know, this sounds crazy. He just out of nowhere, you guys are using welfare, and they're saying wrongly suggested.
So I don't know, but I will say this much right here. When it comes to a firearm, if you unholster your weapon, there's a 99.9% chance you will use that. So you don't ever unholster your weapon unless your life.
Now, I don't see it. This video does not.
Where
I don't know. Maybe he lifts up his shirt, but this girl's head's in the dang way. Or did he have it in his hand?
Let it keep on going a little bit. Because he came in after. Watch this, because I think he's carrying it in his hand. Hold on, right? Just let it keep on playing. Let's see here.
No, the guy was leaving. Let me see here.
So it may go to the very beginning, yeah. Does he?
It's right here. He's at the door. See, he's backing out.
Is there another video, or this is the only one?
He's right here backing out. He's out. He's out the door.
Huh.
Let me see what they say. Everybody out. This guy's kicking them out now. The manager said, I want everyone out now.
Good for her. Kick them all out.
So, all right. This
I don't know.
customer even
yeah.
yelled. This manager girl was screaming at all of them to get the F out of her store. She didn't care. And this guy goes, "You're going to send them out there with a guy that just pulled a gun on everybody?" And, and she goes, "I don't give a F. Get the heck out of my store." And then he goes, "You better call the effing cops." So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. From that video, I can say if that's the truth and that's what happened, he was going in there brandishing a weapon. Yeah. No, that's first of all, let me tell you, somebody who does carry a weapon won't put themselves in those situations. I'll tell you right there. You be aware of your surroundings and your environment.
Somebody just said you can't use EBT for fast food, and most likely you're right. So this guy was either just starting stuff, just talking crap to them.
Wow.
Who knows the full story at this point, but
yeah, well, brandishing is illegal. You can't sit there and brandish your gun. That's not your firearm. That is true. And if this guy is doing that, I mean, that's especially in this day and age. I mean, come on now, people. Who knows who's carrying those? All those guys could have been carrying. It could have been a shootout because he just wanted to scare them, and well, they have one too, and they want to pull the trigger to kill the guy. So that could have gone downhill pretty quickly. I mean, there's one thing to stand your ground, and then there's to avoid potential hazardous confrontations. So that's just crazy.
So Migrant Caravan, Tijuana declares humanitarian crisis and asks for international help. Now, I don't know about this screen here. Is this fresh or is this from 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Look at this flags. How's that bridge holding the weight?
It says picture the area view shows the Honduran migrants leaving Oregon on their way to San Pedro, temping in southern Mexico on October 27th. Was it this year? October 27th? Yeah, I guess. So looking for temporary jobs. I mean, medical.
What does this say right here? This last line.
Announcement that they will offer Central American migrants medical care, education for the children, and access to temporary jobs as long as they stay in southern states, stay in 2 southern states.
So Mexico has offered or announced that it will offer.
They stay in the southern states.
What, they got states in Mexico too? Is that what they call them? States or?
Yeah, Mexico's a country, and they've got they've got states within Mexico, and so it's like they have. I think when we were talking about when this whole caravan or invasion of sorts was coming up from the south, that's when they were hitting their there was the border, the Honduran border, I believe it was, to one of their other states.
So, yeah, I didn't know if like lots of other places had states in a union either. So it's like what in Germany they're a country now. Within Germany, do they have states? What are their states?
See right here.
I mean, you were over in Germany. What do they call it over there when you principality or?
Well, they had states when they had one more regent, but that was before the European
Federal
Union.
Republic. So it had
Yeah, it was
16 states or something. The biggest is Bavaria. The smallest is Bremen.
Yeah, so there's so Mexico has 31 states.
Okay.
So okay, so that's the states they have, and then they were coming from.
So what were they telling them to stay in the 2 most southern?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, I think it looks like the Chippewas. So they have I think it's Chippewa, or I can't. But there's a couple of southern states that basically that border the Central America, like with actually tip of southern Mexico.
People are talking about McDonald's. How disgusting. Anyway, yes, it is, folks. It was, but no, yeah, people put here, yes, they have states. I just never heard it that way, honestly, my whole life. I I knew there was different areas. I didn't know that. So Mexico's offered them some great things, it looks like. And they're like, no, we want to go to racist America.
Yeah, no, it's you know, I mean, the bottom line is you know, we don't want to roll over as a country and say, why don't you stay in our two southern states? How do you think the you know, we're talking, how do you think the Texans would feel about that? You know, how do you think the Arizonans would feel about that? You know, Southern Californians. I mean, it's okay. You know, let's just stay in our southern states. I mean, what kind of policy is that? That's not really.
Exactly. So we have Alabama mall shooting leaves 1 dead, 2 injured. 3 hours ago. This is a Black Friday thing. A Thanksgiving night shooting at Alabama's largest enclosed mall left a gunman dead and 2 people, including a 12-year-old girl, injured, authorities said, and sent terrified shoppers running for safety. The incident at River Chase Galleria in the Birmingham suburb of Hoover started with a fight between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old gunman. Police said the confrontation occurred in the mall shortly. Now look how CNN, normally if this was a white man, they'd have an 18-year-old white man and a 20, I guarantee it. This is how I read their shit.
You got to read. Yep, exactly.
Because if it was white, they'd be blasting right now. So I'm not jumping to conclusions. We're gonna keep reading, but this is the first point. Normally, if this was a white person, the headline would be "White man in Alabama mall shooting, white gunman kill." You know, they'd have all that.
Now, why do you think they put the word "girl" on the 12-year-old? Does that make more? Is that more heartstrings? The 12-year-old girl. What if it was a 12-year-old boy? What would just any 12-year-old, right?
Well, it's like this: gunman dead plus 2 and 2 wounded. Gunman dead and 2 wounded. So only 1 died. Just the gunman died.
What was the other person? Is the other person, you know, not a 12-year-old girl, so they weren't
I'm just
worthy
wondering
enough to catch titles? And this could have been, you know, you know, you always have those pre-Black Friday sales that start, you know, at 10 o'clock in the evening or something like that. Or, I mean, who knows if this is what it was, but I mean.
Police do not know how the confrontation began, and we do not believe at this point the 18-year-old was armed. The gunman opened fire, shooting the teen twice in the torso. An armed Hoover police officer who was working security confronted the gunman as he ran away from the scene and fatally shot him. So this guy was running, and then the police shot him. A 12-year-old girl described by bystanders was also shot once, but unclear by whom. So there you go. That could have been shot by the police officer that was untrained, or possibly
couldn't aim straight. I mean, who knows? That's the thing. Is like they're wanting you to assume a lot of stuff.
I just know enough, and I'm not
When
taking
you see
this
that
any
pops
way.
right out you.
It's just CNN. If it's a black shooter, they'll just leave it in vague things like that. Gunman and 2 wounded, dead. When it's white, they'll quick to have the white in there because like Don Lemon's pitch, you know,
or a minority got something.
White man being bad, but if it's a black man or anything else, we just kind of give you the story because some of those aren't too important anyway. You don't, you know. They just want to push it in our face when it is the white man to let you know the white man's gone crazy.
Yeah, it's the old let's slap a bunch of Trump and MAGA stickers in this white van and park it out in front everywhere and make it a real big target. Yeah. No. Mike,
are you guys not doing any
the Black Friday thing?
Black Friday thing? Anybody out there? Yeah, we don't trust CNN too much either.
Yeah, I mean the Black Friday. It's honestly a lot of that's just it's crazy. I try to stay away from any large metropolitan shopping areas on that time of day myself, that time of year.
Trump chides courts and call with the troops. So we were watching that yesterday. So President Trump held a wide-ranging, unconventional Thanksgiving Day teleconference Thursday with leaders of 5 branches of the military, airing political grievances and praising the country's might. Airing political grievances. The president discussed immigration at a length as he continues to warn about the supposed danger posed by a group of 1,000 Central American migrants. See,
I would take the supposed danger and say just put about the danger, not the supposed danger.
The supposed, you know, like they know. Here's the media adding shit when they're supposed to report on shit. Supposed danger. We already had Acosta re-educate the president on this area, but he continues to, him and the military think they know things.
Well, this is a sympathy piece. If you keep on reading, in many cases, we have no idea where these people will get. Essentially, we want to be very, very careful. I mean, really, they look well fed and got new shoes of some sorts and all
Holding
kinds
a
of
flag
smartphones.
for hundreds of miles isn't an easy task. The wind
That's a
and
huge, yeah. I mean,
wear you down. You know? So watch out for 4 scams targeting holiday shoppers. Let's go ahead and do this for the people. Watch out for these 4 scams, folks. We'll take turns reading them here. Shoppers beware. Scammers want in on your holiday spending budget. They want a chunk. They need it.
They hungry for it.
Consumers are expected to spend just tons of money. People need to be more aware this year, Catherine Hutt says. Online fraud attempts rose about 22% between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve last year. Shopping red flags. Don't get caught up in so-called Black Friday frenzy that you miss warning signs that a deal is too good to be so true.
Don't get
So-called
whipped up in
online
the hype.
purchasing scams, which include fake websites, among other woes.
Of course, we'll always tell you, make sure it's HTTPS when you're putting in your information, not HTTP. That S stands for secure. Fakes, shipping notifications. This scam was usually probably for a big retailer that you may or may not have ordered from. Okay, we know that. We know the fake shipping notifications. You just got to give them your information.
Santa letter phishing. Want your kid to receive a letter from Santa? Be careful about the company you pick and what kind of personal details you give out. The big risk here is your kid won't hear from Santa, but that you're providing key details to a phisher who will use it to perpetuate other fraud.
Oh, yeah. More personal finances. Bogus charities. If you ever give to a charity, make sure you have all their information, like their tax ID. Money Hunt said there's not just a mall, nonprofit rating sites. Charity Navigator, 40% of all charitable donations are made in the last few weeks of the year. So make sure you have reputable.
Lots of scams start popping up around this time for that then.
Yeah, I mean, and we know that's the same thing happened when there's a natural disaster. People were popping up and give the Haiti Relief Fund, and it wasn't really going there. And if you're going to be donating to anything or to anybody, you better make damn well sure you vet that person or that entity. And everybody has a tax ID if they're going to be official, and that's all open source online. You can go Google if you think some company's not operating correctly. Google their tax ID number, and if you can't find it, then there's your answer.
Kentucky factory employee stops mass shooting after calling police on a man 37 who was found in his truck in the parking lot with an AR-15, 4 handguns, and rounds of ammunition. Yeesh. Guy looks like Josh Brolin slash
in his early years
slash Christian Slater. Little pump up the volume era. So be it.
I don't
So
understand.
be it.
Okay, so the guy had a bunch of weapons in his gun in his truck. Maybe he was going to the shooting range after work.
Yeah, a mass
know.
shooting at a Kentucky factory was thwarted on Monday when police arrested a man who had a modified AR-15.
Now it's modified.
Like how they like to put that. It's like, what? Did he have like a flashlight accessory on there?
He got the new cool. He duct taped a laser pointer on there. He's cool.
Laser on there. And he was modifying it, above
And had
regulation.
multiple rounds of ammunitions in his pickup truck. Okay, so all right, I don't see
I'll
nothing
just keep
illegal
reading.
so far.
Matthew Smith, 37, was arrested at the LB manufacturing factory in Springfield on Monday around 2 p.m. Police were called there by employees who said he was acting suspiciously in his truck in the parking lot. It remains unclear if Smith worked at the factory or if he had targeted at random. When officers arrived and approached him, he pointed one of his handguns at the officer's chest. The cop was able to grab it from him and put him to the ground without any shots being fired. As they handcuffed him,
okay.
Smith reached for another gun in his waistband. Once he was detained, they searched his car and found an AR-15, which had been modified to be fully automatic. There you go.
Okay.
In total, there were 3 rifles, 19 loaded magazines, 4 handguns, and a sniper's training manual in the car. With some Trump stickers. And when questioned, Smith told police that he had been planning a mass shooting. Okay, so
All right.
let's see that article, or how it started. It's unclear. But yeah, there you go. How do you know he was going to do a mass shooting? Well, he told us.
Well, he had
was.
a book on sniping. And
Well, he told them.
And he told
Right
us.
here.
Oh, well, then there you go. He told them.
I think he's going to do a mass shooting. Well, how do you know? Well, he told me he was. Okay. So there you go. He made statements that indicated he had been analyzing the building layout to include
approaches.
entrances, exits, approaches, and even air vents on the roof. He wanted that high vantage point.
That's a perfect bird's nest in the book what he was reading. I'm pretty sure it's a military field manual.
Yeah. So there we go, folks. Not making fun, just reading the facts.
Think about. Let's just stop and think about this logically. You're going to do a mass shooting, okay? So you're going to go to your place. The guy didn't even have enough willpower to read the book before he left. He's like, you know what?
I'm going to read this on the fly while I'm doing stuff.
I'm going to kind of go from the hip thinking. I've been kind of looking at this building. So I'm going to sit in the parking lot. Let me brush up on like chapter 3 is what I really need to get really into. And then I'm going to go do it. Either this guy is a complete idiot or he's a tool. Somebody's using him as a tool.
So we got L here. Mike and Ben, what about red flag laws? Just did a vid. Second Amendment shall not be infringed, but they are doing it.
So Mike and I has talked a lot about this. I mean, they're infringing a lot of our rights, actually, and they infringe them every single day. I mean... Well,
a bigger one is search and seizure.
Yeah, the Fourth Amendment. Yeah, for sure.
You're supposed to have and it happens all the time. People get pulled over or walking down the street in bigger cities, and it's like stop and frisk. The whole stop and frisk. That alone, your body is your property, and you have to have a warrant to search property. They've been doing this for a long, long time. It's become the norm. People don't question it. Nobody, lots of times people get stopped and frisked. The police find something, whether it's a gun or an illegal gun or drugs, and then they go to court. The lawyers argue this whole fact that they were searched without a warrant, and then the judge is like, well, what did they find? Well, we found, crack rock or something, and that always seems to weigh the judge. Mm-hmm. We're arguing those where Trump's doing things like we need to stop, certain terrorists from coming in the country, and he puts in the bans, and then these, Ninth Circuit Court judges interpret the law differently, and no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional. It's like I didn't know our constitutional applied to everybody. I thought it was only for
Yeah, and that's,
citizens.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that's not how we read it. I'm not sure what's going on, but it is a mess.
no, I agree with a lot of you guys here in the live chat. Ignorance is probably the biggest thing with people. If you don't know your rights, just your fundamental rights, then you're right. They bank on you not knowing them, and that's why it's so critical to understand. Because honestly, a lot of law enforcement, and we love law enforcement. They're great. They do a great job. But honestly, a lot of law enforcement, even though they're oath keepers, they took an oath to withhold up the Constitution. I would say a large majority of them do not know the basic Constitution. All they know is their quotas and their duties, their particular duties, and that's really about it. I mean, honestly, you try to educate a law enforcement officer, and and it's like, and being obviously being out of love, or being out of civility, if you will. It's very hard. So knowing what it is and giving up, and we have given up a lot of rights because we never knew we had them from the get-go.
Yeah. And I would say too, it's like I see the little steps they're doing to get guns out of people's hands, these more and more paperwork, and then all of a sudden you're deemed whatever reasons. But I still don't think here in America that they're going to come door to door. You guys got to be logical about it. I still think they're perpetuating the thought, and there are lots of people, Americans, fellow Americans you'll argue with, that will act like you don't need this or that, and they're already convinced in their head, and they're sitting here trying to talk you out of your gun because they don't necessarily have it or want it. And then since they don't have it or want it, they don't really want you to have it either. It gets to be crazy, but that's how they've done. If you look at the history around the world, around the globe right now, how they've disarmed people, it's rarely by the gun at you at your door, knocking on the door. Hey, we're here to get your gun. And they're just going to keep going door to door to door. And I don't know. I think it'll be more convinced. You'll see garbage trucks driving down the street. They'll have confiscations, buybacks. They'll do everything else first that we haven't seen yet. But
we have other countries in history. We know how gun confiscation and basically disarming a populace goes.
Australia, the government buyback,
Oh yeah,
and we've done similar things here. There's been drop-off guns that are illegal, or phones, or drugs, prescription drugs. We're not gonna hold anybody liable. We just come drop it off. It's a safe place. So.
And obviously Ella's white. They went door to door in the Ninth Ward, number in Chicago. So yeah, there have been pockets of times. Hurricane Katrina, they went door to door and that kind of stuff. And so, but on the we're talking, Mike and I are talking about the grand scheme, the entire nation as a whole. It's really hard to disarm a populace as well armed as Americans. We are heavily armed a populace, and I think that's always been. I think, really honestly, being armed has been the only thing that's been the wall that's kept back the evil, totally tyrannical, oppressive, ending everything. That's really been the only thing that's stopping. That little piece of iron upstairs in my closet has kept the Constitution alive. And even I don't ever have to use it. The fact that it's up in there, it's keeping it alive. Because the second you have you lose the ability to defend yourself, then what? Then that's it. You can scream all you want, but if you can't defend yourself, then
that's right. It's just a tool, folks. I got a hammer down in my garage, and I can misuse that real bad and do a lot of damage with it. But it sits there in my garage, and I use it for the proper, reasons I need to use it for. It's a tool, and I use it when I need it.
Mm-hmm. A hammer could tear a house down, or it could build one.
That's right. Build bridges or break them. All right, so let's see here. All right, we'll go here for another 10 minutes or so. let's get into some talking to the people here. You guys got any questions here for the final 10 minutes? Maybe later this evening. I don't know. It is a Friday. We might do depending on Ben's schedule, my schedule later on. But I would like to, if not today, later today, this afternoon,
Get
later
something else
tonight,
out.
definitely tomorrow, try to do a live call in again. So we'll get our next
Yes.
call in going on. So why don't we say the Patriot Hour? What is it? Patriot Hour 2018. Patriot Hour 2018 at Gmail. All right, in the description or in the live chat, I just put in the email again. I've already got some of you, and if you guys would like to possibly call in, similar, just like what Elle did. If you don't want your photo, you just let us know in our conversations. If we, out of everyone emailing us, just say, yes, I'd love to be on, and then tell us, how you'd like to be on. And then we'll select somebody. We have to select somebody, and it's not about anything other than our selecting of somebody. And if you don't get on this time, you might get on next time. That's just how it's got to work.
This will be the second time we've done this call in, and so depending on how our schedules go today, hopefully we may be able to get something out this evening or tomorrow. So this is something we really enjoy doing, and the call in again with Elle was awesome, and we really enjoyed that episode, and we want to get some more feedback from you guys, and so definitely excited. Let's see, Matthew Miles up on here. Meech, Don't Touch, Ellie, 1978. Christopher Olsen, Amy, Janet Wood, Marty Jackson.
So I heard that
Seven
as
Enemy.
well. Chris said something about our military taking over and I've heard that allegedly. And we've gotten some photos, but the Deep State Clinton Foundation in Haiti. So this is, let me see here.
That maybe, I don't know what our latest military taking over the Haiti airport.
U.S. forces have allegedly taken control of the international airport in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So we got Joe M. here. The Deep State and Clinton Foundation in Haiti. He makes the videos, the couple of good ones that are circulating around. Pulled dead man alarms to go on a killing spree, massacre of anyone who compromised their senior ranks if caught.
Oh.
Corey Lynn. U.S. forces have taken control of the international airport in Port-au-Prince, Haiti on the 17th of November.
Wow.
So I don't know. Very interesting.
Maybe that's kind of the, I know that we're locking down all these little airports that you'd probably have to hop on to leave the country. These maybe some of the destinations, Haiti, a lot of big stuff was happening there with the Clinton Foundation. So.
These are Navy boys here.
Don't Touch says Hillary killing witnesses. Who knows? Probably. Oh yeah, old Navy pilots.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, look for the live stream. If you have not subscribed to this channel that you guys are on right now, please do that. We've seen massive
Big old thumbs up.
subscribers, so it's awesome. Again, send us an email to the link I talked about. If you can find it all over the Patriot Hour in the description box of every video. Again, we'd like to thank, we've got a few donations the last few days. Thank you all for all the donations. Again, it's going
Huge
towards
blessings,
the
you guys.
funds,
Yes, it's-
paying some of the bills that are involved in all of this. So we appreciate it. Again, we're going to probably do a show later this afternoon. Again, we'll probably just do one. I think we'll probably keep the call in for tomorrow. Maybe we'll make it a Saturday mid-morning, afternoon,
something.
red pill call-in show. And we'll talk more about that later this evening and have a couple shows out talking about it. We're talking about it now. We'll do one later. We'll talk about it in that, and we'll get some communications going on with hopefully somebody that wants to come in. So
Yeah. And like I said, if you guys are emailing and we don't get back to you immediately, just know that, hey, if you emailed us, cool. We have your email. That's
We're
the
gonna
most important thing. Yep.
start a
And then we're
file
gonna
and put them in there. So you can email us every time we say to email us. And then eventually, we will probably get in touch with you. So don't take anything personal. It's just, we only got so much time, and right,
and
to
getting your
get through
email
them.
as well, it always helps Mike and I when we do want to start. We haven't done it yet, but maybe putting out some type of newsletter, something up and coming things we're working on, some things to keep you lookout for. If we have your email now, then that just helps us easier send out mass stuff to you guys. So that's another something that we're kind of again playing with. This is just future stuff that we're talking about. We eventually, as the downstairs studio is getting worked on, that's something that we're still pushing forward on. That obviously it's rolling into the winter months, and so everything a little bit slows down. But for sure, what you guys do, like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep it coming at you.
All right, there you heard it. That was Ben. And we were glad that he can join in this morning for this little live stream. We just want to put something out. We did about an hour here. We're just hitting the hour mark. Again, folks, we appreciate it if you're new to the Patriot Tech, the Patriot Hours 2.0 channel. And I don't know if there's a way to change the name of a channel after you've already named it, but we made this 4 or 5 months ago. I was going to use it for all the behind the scenes stuff of the Patriot Hour. We got tons of footage from just coming up, trying to get this channel up and running, and all the demo, all the testing of all the equipment. So I thought, man, this channel would be awesome just for some behind the scenes. How do we do some of the editing, some of the videos? And that's what it was going to be about. But now that we have the banning, our live stream got taken away from us on the main channel at one point. It's happened twice, and then it's come back. And one was for a September 11th video I made, a memorial video. And out of nowhere, a month after I made it, sometime in October, we lost our live. And it said we wouldn't get it back till December, days before, December, like December 22nd or something. But I disputed it, and then they unlocked it. And then we had it back, and then it got locked out again. And now it looks like it's back, but it still won't properly work correctly. So we're having to use the Patriot Tech's live capability over here. So we appreciate you guys getting over here, finding us, being part of the whole conversation. It really, really works. So again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you worldwide. And we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. Again, we're planning on doing one later on today, this evening at some point. And we're going to try to gear for tomorrow to do a live call in again. Somebody wants to beam in, be part of the show. We'll go over, we'll have questions lined up, and then we'll let you throw a few back, and it works out great. So make sure you sign up for that, for this channel, subscribe, make sure you're subscribed on the Patriot Hour, and we'll see you back here real soon. Have a blessed day, and from your morning into your afternoon. We'll see you back here later.
That is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This
Yeah.
is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
Podcast.